LPGA royalty has come back to the Queen City of Cincinnati. It's round one of the Kroger Queen City Championship presented by P&G. Brand new venue this year, Akieiwai Country Club, just a few miles away from downtown at the Ohio riverfront. Grant Boone, Morgan Tressel, Jim Gallagher Jr. calling the odd-numbered holes for you today. Karen Stupples out there in the golf course. Nellykorda, jeenothitikul, and lydiako highlighting our afternoon wave. Morgan, this is a beaut, Akieiwai.
It's a beautiful golf course, quite an undulating property. It's one of the things that I heard from a lot of the people coming into this week, a lot of the players and caddies especially, was just how much the elevation changes on this golf course come into effect. And today we've got some winds, and this right here, the ninth hole, is an absolutely brutal par 3.
And Karen Stupples is there.
I am. It's brutal for all manner of reasons. Back into this wind really is the biggest key.
Well, she won't be able to see that because it's a blind tee shot, something you don't often see on a par 3, but...
And lydiako, hardest hole on the golf course, 3.57 stroke average, Karen.
Well, as I said, you are playing back into the wind with a front hole location, small green. And it's 200 yards for this hole playing today, so players are coming in with a long club. You've got to judge the pitch and roll. Now that this wind's popped up, you're not going to get so much release on the shots. And that just pitched at the front of the green, but because it's back into the wind, allowing it to stop a bit softer. Just pitching right at the front edge of the green with this hurting wind.
Yeah, all pars for Nelly today. Should release onto the green, and that is a well-placed shot. 3 good shots. Nelly with, as I mentioned, all pars.
All right, a brand new golf course and some challenging conditions. Temps in the mid-40s when the morning wave got going. And let's look at some of the action. This is Jinyoungko, Morgan, at the 18th. Both nines end on a par 3.
A bit unusual here, the closing par 3. She's just making the turn here, though.
That would get her to 2 under. She would shoot 4 under par 66 on this par 70. And back from maternity leave, still got the athleticism. Chella Choi at the 7th.
1 foot out of the bunker. All feel that would settle in nicely for her 6th birdie of the day.
She got to 6 under at that point. Bogeyed her last 2. Still a very solid 66 tied for the lead. And then Amanda Doherty from long range at 8.
She just got into this field because of the reshuffle that happened after last week, making the absolute most of that start today.
It would not have been in otherwise, and a 67 for the former Florida State Seminoles. So that's how the leaderboard looks, with the very best in the world out here in the afternoon, the Queen City. In 1950, this magnificent clubhouse and the Donald Ross design goes back some 100 years. For the very first time, it's hosting the LPGA's best. And you've got great players like Charlie Hull, the defending champ, lydiako, Minji Lee, who've hoisted the trophy in this event. And Morgan mentioned it there. You get a good glimpse of some of the severe elevation changes. The rolling hills, it's a spectacular landscape not far from downtown Cincy. This is at the 8th, and Akieiwai. Like here at the 8th, this is a par putt for lottiewoad. Trouble off the tee. And it will cost her at least that shot, playing with laurencoughlin and Akieiwai.
And I had the good fortune of playing this course yesterday in the Pro-Am and found these greens particularly difficult to read. But I don't think there's much in this part at all. You just have to get the speed right with it being uphill.
And she loves playing in Ohio. Won a USAM in Cleveland, of course, one in Toledo, one here in Cincinnati. The state's been good to her. Just greens were rolling right at 11 and a half. Good speed with the wind, and as you say, some of the severity of some of them, that's a good speed. Getting it below the hole is the key, and that's right here where she has it. Trying to break that 8 pars in a row streak right here. Did she? Incredible career so far.
Well, winning on a Donald Ross course last week too, so she's got the feel for this type of green.
Could this be 3 in a row?
This is a terrific-looking rookie, melaniegreen. Yeah, last week she shot 65 in the second round of the 36-hole U.S. Women's Open qualifier.
Stay at even par, get settled. Made a couple putter switches. She didn't mind tinkering.
Now up by the green at 11, Jim.
Yeah, this hole's 323 yards. This is her drive. Kira Tamberlini, who played at Ole Miss, who Ole Miss did get through the regionals yesterday onto the NCAAs. So moving around. All right, Coughlin now here at 9. Three bogeys on her card, 3 over par. Get up there towards the hole. Maybe make birdie here. They're making this hole look a little easier now. There you go. Feeds nicely into the hole. Good chance for birdie.
This is her third at the 8th. Four in the field who are under par, so tough going out there.
Aditiashok here at the 15th. This for birdie. This is a difficult hole. Not for her. Nice.
Well, she's going to go with a gap wedge. She's got 103 as a number. And there is some thicker grass just to the right of the ball, but I don't think it's going to impact this shot too much, except that you will get some release. The other thing to say about this green is it's a newer green. They had a couple of greens that have been redone. This is one of them, so it plays just a bit firmer.
That firm bounce certainly coming out of the rough, bound to happen.
And as you said, just a thick lie in this grass, and it is so tough to get through. You have to work hard. But with just a short club in your hand, it's not too bad, but that's gonna... Oh, there are only 74 yards to go. Little help in this wind though, so still, even though she can spin it, expect to get maybe just one hop on this. There you go.
Kind of hops up a little bit differently than on other grasses.
Jinyoungko for par at 8. As we go to 17.
Yeah, we have Takeda for birdie here at 17. It's a blind tee shot, goes down the hill. Relatively somewhat flat green for the most part. Still a difficult hole, one of the toughest on the golf course, but nice birdie there. It gets her to under par, so. All right, Laurencoughlin now for birdie here at 9. I'd slide a little to her right if it loses some speed. Just get the 2 over. Make a little rally. There you go. Nice putt.
Jim, there's only been 7 birdies all day on the second hole, and we've seen 3 of them in the last 10 minutes.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? They're making this hole look a lot easier than it's playing.
Sitting down a little bit in that first cut off of a downslope.
In South Florida, I was going to say maybe Lydia does as well, but she was playing as a professional when she was a youngster. In professional events, she was playing when she was a youngster.
No question. I played with her when she was 13. Whoa. There you go.
Okay.
That'll do. And even though she's shorter, this is still not an easy putt. It's got some movement to the left on this. Just have to try and see this ball going in the hole probably at about 4 o'clock, maybe even 3:30. It's got that much movement on it for such a short putt. Oh, well done.
This is the 16th and weiweizhang, her 7th hole of the day.
Chanetteewannasaen, second shot here at 11. Can't quite see the putting surface, but can see the flagstick. 1 over on the day. Birdie go a long way here. 7 of 10 greens. Let's make it 8, and a beautiful play in there. Let's go back to 8.
And happy birthday, Jenniferkupcho made an eagle on the 7th.
All right, Gino's next. Wannasaen did make birdie ahead of her.
It's from 74. Oh, pulled the string on that one.
All right, Nelly.
It's got 67 yards, and there is a little upslope that you can pitch this into, almost like a little valley. It starts about 3 yards over that front bunker. Oh, she's going to use the backstop, maybe.
Yeah, it didn't quite. Actually took a forward kick. That was a little surprising. You're right. It's judging how much sand's down there as well.
No, this is well judged, really well judged.
Yep. Any questions have been answered there too. That is so good, Grant.
And this putt for Nelly, a little bit of a challenge. She's not even looking where the hole is. She's looking at a spot well to the right of the hole, about there's at least 6 feet left at the right of the hole, and still breaking more than that even.
Wow, look how fast that putt was. That was so fast coming down the slope. I didn't think it was that quick, but that's a good 10 feet by the hole.
Over to the par 5 14th. We've got the NCAAs coming up here in just a few days' time, and former NCAA champ, adelacernousek. At the 16th, this is azaharamunoz. Up the hill you go with the tee shot.
I think that's one of the steepest climbs up to that.
And Nelly's got a lot of work to do. That actually more than 10 feet, Karen.
Yeah, it's quite a bit, and there's going to be some movement to the left as well on this putt. Back uphill. Wow.
Well, from the drone, I think it's going to read exactly like you said, with some great views up there from above. All right, Gino, 5 in a row here if she makes this one.
At the 12th, this is yanawilson for par. At the 16th, azaharamunoz.
She needs this to get headed in the right direction after a slow start.
That will help. Back to 2 over as we take you back to the par 4 10th and jinyoungko.
It won't be quite as tough coming out of this first cut, but still want to keep this right of that flag stick, landed right about on the front edge.
Yeah, Jenniferkupcho didn't quite get the roll out of that tee shot here at the par 3. Do a little bump shot here. She's at 2 under par. Carries it just short. Should release nicely to the hole. Did it go in the hole? Wow, that's a good shot.
164. If you can pitch it at the bottom of that tier and let it hop up, that would be ideal. Oh, she flew it all the way back there. So I would almost say this is probably just a 160 shot.
It's one of those holes, Karen, where you really want to have it good numbers. Green is only 25 paces deep, so quite small. Third hardest green to hit today. Only about 40% of the field finding the putting surface off the tee.
Exactly what's needed here to pitch it in that, at the base of that upslope.
A few cars slowing down, maybe wanting to get a look at Nelly.
It's a high draw. Oof.
All right, this is pattytavatanakit at the 10th, playing with jinyoungko. Par 3 12, second shot for nellykorda.
Quite a bit of green to work with. Has the ball back in her stance. like she got under it a little bit, came out a little bit fluffy.
And look at this shot coming up for Gino.
Oh, just such an awkward stance, but that was magnificent.
It looks like at the 12th. Back at 10, Jinyoungko for birdie. Trying to follow in pattytavatanakit.
And this one's just a little bit uphill.
Par putts coming up, 11.
Now, akieiwai here at 11. Her second shot. Needs a little help off that slope. That came out of there hot. There was a little bit of a backdrop there. Back slope there, I should say. Tough to get it close out of that rough.
Well, you can definitely see the difference in her on the golf course too, and not just mistakes of her making, but also the unlucky little breaks that you get over the course of a round that used to irritate her in the past. It's not irritating her right now, even finding divots. She's much more patient with.
Gino for par. Here's madisonyoung, rookie last year, lost her card conditionally exempt, but she is reshuffled back up, got into the field, and trying to take advantage.
And just over there, lottiewoad down for birdie at 11. Just to get back to even par. Okay, missed her birdie, but lottiewoad did not.
At the 10th, jenniferkupcho. This is a par putt. There. And akieiwai at the 12th.
See how fast this putt is. She's at 1 under par on her round.
When you are chipping, you want to leave the ball in the best place you possibly can to try and make a putt. And anytime you're on a Donald Ross course, typically the best place to leave it is below the hole, which is what Lydia did there. Even though she might not be as happy as she could be with the chip, at least it's in the right place to putt from.
Can get one to drop. Here is an LPGA rookie, camilleboyd, at the 16th. To get back to even par.
Back at the 11th, jenniferkupcho now for birdie. A couple 12th place finishes. One at the Chevron, one last week. 9 to 10 cuts, pretty solid.
All right, this is the par 5, 14th, and a birdie putt for yanawilson.
Worry about the speed here.
Here is Sophiaschubert at the 10th, the U.S. amateur champion from a few years ago, and back on the LPGA Tour.
And this one's got some left movement to it. It's going to be downhill at the start, especially once it hits that left turn. It's going to want to go downhill.
And after that great approach at 10, here's Sophiaschubert.
Never ceases to amaze me when I think about Gino and Lydia and winning as teenagers in professional golf. I mean, it just requires so much maturity and, I mean, just getting good so quickly.
Morgan, you know what that's like.
Akieiwai now, this for par at 13. We've seen a lot of par putts. But we don't see a lot of them.
Now lydiako for eagle at 14.
And she has a good idea on what this putt's doing, having watched both Nelly and Gino. This one's right in the middle of these two with their lines.
To 9.
Yeah, weilinghsu now here at the 9th, 200 yards. Trying to bring it in from right to left. Couple under on her round. It's a big kick. Oh, boy. That's going to be a tough bunker shot. That's about a 30-yard bunker shot.
And one of them was Tranquilo there in Orlando, which hosted the Hilton Grand Vacations Tournament of Champions. And Nelly's sister Jessica shot 60 at that golf course when she won back in 2021. This is for birdie for Nelly. And in it goes. We couldn't see it, but it's in. And back to 1 under for Nelly.
Well, you mentioned the 13th. Now the third shot for Jinyoungko. She's got to carry this at least 12 feet onto the green, unless she hits a skipper. There's your skipper, but it's not going to get up there. We've seen that. It's just so hard to carry it all the way up there. You don't want to be above the hole, but weilinghsu's going to need something special here from this bunker. This is at least 30 yards. It's close to the lip. It's not too bad. Gets away from her, rolls a little bit there. Back at the 13th, Jinyoungko has this for par. Lydiako had a similar putt that went to her left. Now, see if she can make par here at the 9th. Stay at 2 under.
It's interesting, Jim. The scores have gone down a little bit.
They have.
They started coming on air earlier. It's about 0.4 of a stroke, the scoring average. And maybe, just getting that out in the open helped to free her up last week as well.
Third for Lydia.
No green to work with here. Ball above her feet. Got to try and get some kind of spin on this. Or hit the hole.
Ooh.
So it's one of those putts that you do actually have to think a little bit about, because you've got to make sure that you keep the speed up enough here. But not so much that you run it 4 or 5 feet past, because these greens are so tricky that those 4 or 5 footers can wear on you pretty quick.
Yeah, nobody really has an advantage. First time playing here, so everybody's learning the golf course. I think once you play it a few times, you learn some of the subtleties to it.
Par 5, 14th, lottiewoad. This to get to 1 under.
Tell how good you're putting by your lag speed.
At the par 3, 18th, adelacernousek. 9th hole of the day.
Such an interesting par 3 that we'll see a lot of.
All right, majastark here at 13. See what she does. Everyone else try to land it just on top of that slope. They've come up short. She's a little more aggressive. All right, Gino has this left for par, Karen.
Well, it is uphill, which is the good thing. But you don't want to feel like you're giving this a bit of a hit, because that way you can send the putter offline. So just normal stroke, but firmer.
A great view here. Just a little too firm on that line. So a 3-putt bogey after that beautiful drive for Gino. That's a huge mistake.
Tricky, especially, as you said, for players getting their first look at it. Here is ariajutanugarn. This is birdie at the 12th. Oh, yeah, power it in there.
Been walking off of this part of the green, but so far she's been solid. Just to stay at 1 under, only 3 back. She'll get some fresh greens tomorrow, maybe a little warmer in the morning than it was for the players this morning, but nice putt there. And guess what? Same result. Great save. Take it and run.
Try to work your way in and get to Riv. Been a nice day for liliavu. Morgan, this is her second at the 8th. This was pattytavatanakit, fourth shot at 14.
Well, we saw some magic with her short game at the Chevron Championship. No surprise there, ho-hum.
From a really thick lie, she's got to keep it low under the tree limbs. I think she was trying to get that to chase up. Just got caught in some thick grass. From 99 yards. But no trouble with trees.
Yeah, just a nearly impossible angle. That bunker staring you in the face, Karen.
Oh, and she's caught it.
Her roll. Lydia.
63 yards, and this is no bargain either, just because of that hole location. She's going to have to try and get some spin on this. Get some zip through contact, as you can see there.
How about the wedge she hit to the 72nd hole at the Old Course at St. Andrews? And here's Lilia's third at the 8th.
It's such a severe upslope here. Really have to keep your weight on your front foot.
And you can see how awkward this third is for Gino a moment ago.
Smart play, not even going anywhere near that flagstick, just trying to.
And here's the par putt for Lilia at 8, her 17th of the day. Oh, yeah, we saw her make 1 million of those putts in 2023. Nelly, 16.
Club face absolutely wide open, trying to get as much height as possible.
Well, they are moving quickly. Here's Gino for par.
Just lovely afternoon for golf.
Charlie Hull said that after her round this morning, said that she felt like it was scoreable out there. Maybe the conditions.
Playing a practice round to actually see in a course in tournament, I always used to think that you didn't really know anything about a golf course till you faced it, when you were feeling the adrenaline of competition.
Haileecooper here at 17th. This is her fourth shot. Got it back in her stance. Played at Texas A&M. Saw her earlier in the week. Glad to see her. Glad to see her chip it in at a girl.
Jenniferkupcho made an eagle at the 7th hole, the other par 5 of the course. She's got this one for eagle at 14.
This one is super speedy.
Pattytavatanakit here at 15. Her second shot. Drove it right here in the middle of the fairway. See if she can get her 9th green. Good looking line here. Okay, good shot. She's at even par.
Here is that ticklish birdie putt for Jenniferkupcho at 14.
Back at the 15th, Jinyoungko for birdie. She's currently at 2 under. Of course, 15 career wins. Could she get 16 this week? Never can tell. Got it. Now for birdie here at 17. Ah, girl. Wilson makes that, so nice. Patty T. See if she learned anything. This for birdie. Should know it's a slow putt. This to get to under par. Well. All right, Nelly.
Gap wedge, 122. Decent lie.
Sorry.
Started at the tower, going at the flag. Needs to get down. All in all, not too bad for that rough.
Also a gap wedge for Lydia. Got lots of height on this.
Tugged down a little bit, but all in all, not too bad. You get it up there 25 feet, 20 feet for birdie. Hey, Gino, from the fairway.
And she's only got 71 yards. I mean, she got that turbo bounce off the downslope. But she can see every bit of this green. She can pretty much land this A few yards short of the green and get it to stop with a bit of spin. Sorry, a few yards short of the flag.
Oh, that took a huge kick. Bad kick.
What a terrible bounce.
Yeah, it nestles up against that, too.
Yanawilson.
It's imperative to carry it to the front of this green. Hole's only 6 paces on today.
Over to the other closing par 3.
What a day Liliavu is having. One of the best rounds in the afternoon. She's 3 under here at the 9th. Only missed 3 greens. That should release up onto the green. Easy. Everything feeds off to that left side, but all right, that stays on. It's her 15th green. Solid ball striking. Good chance for birdie.
Goes over on the front 9. She has tied Choi and Ina Yoon. Yuriyoshida. She qualified for the U.S. Women's Open earlier this week and hoping to carry it over. What a tough day for her and for a lot of players. First time at Makatiwa.
That's a cool angle there with a good visual of just how dramatic that drop-off is short of this green.
All right, third shot for Gino. She's only made 3 pars today, and she's 1 under par. Oh, she's got 2 bogeys in a row, and now she has that left for par.
And this is one of those strange reads. You've got a slope from the back of the green. But in this middle section at the back, it looks like there's a bit of a break to the left.
So she's playing quite a bit of left to right break here. Started on her line.
Thank goodness she read it right and not me. Atta girl, Lydia.
Nice putt. It's her to 2 under, or 3 under par, excuse me. I can't add.
And that's the bell you ring to let the folks on the tee know that it's clear for them to play. Here's weilinghsu at the 12th. Oh, off the flagstick for Weiling.
And it just shows you how quickly things can go upside down around this golf course.
All right, Nelly. Basic cleanup here.
At the 18th, Yanawilson to shoot even par.
And Liliavu trying to make it go back down. Just for birdie, get the 4 under, tie for the lead. All in all, solid day of golf this afternoon. Got to be pleased with that. A nice par here at the 9th.
Here is Yoshida for birdie at 18. Here's the birdie attempt for weilinghsu from Taiwan at the 12th. One win to her credit. It happened 5 years ago this week at Kingsmill. One of your favorite spots.
Absolutely.
You know, something that if you're out watching golf, I mean, you can learn so much from watching these 3 play, how they handle themselves as much as anything. Lydia's got a 9-iron for the shot. Just trying to finesse this one in there. Needs to fade a bit. This one starting left of the flag on a little fade. Oh, that was lovely.
When we play together, right the next event after that, what does she do? She goes out and wins Mizuho. So, good going.
She has a wedge.
But they felt like she had a little bit more control over the face with that.
How hard is this, Karen?
Oh, it's just brutal. I mean, even Lydia had hands on her hips when she looked at the lie. I mean, it was just tough because there was so much grass around the ball, off of a downslope. But yeah, we had a really lovely day. Played with Miyu Imashita and Jinyoungko, and literally, I could not have asked for a better group of players to play with. They were lovely all the way around, and we had a blast. And I think that's what you're looking for in a Pro-Am.
None better than on the LPGA Tour. This for an 8th birdie of the day.
Kind of surprising, ending the day with a couple of pars.
Yeah, doesn't know what to do with herself.
I mean, that just shows quite the mental perseverance to be quite a bit behind the 8 ball early, bounce back 5 birdies in a row through the middle of her rounds.
At the 16th, this is Jinyoungko for par.
Yeah, she has.
Okay.
This one back downhill. She knows what the read does because you watch Geno's.
$69 for Nelly. After this goes in. Oh, she's been on top of her game all year long.
She did exactly what she needed to do today. Just steady start.
And now Lydia, this for par, and this would be something special to end on.
With that short club in her hand, not going to be very happy with the bogey to finish the day, but still a decent start going to be for Lydia. I think it's a very good golf course for her. I think it's one that demands a lot of creativity, and kind of feel like that is Lydia's middle name. I feel like she doesn't often like to hit a stock shot, doesn't like to play just the standard game that everybody else does. She loves to see movement. This golf course certainly gives you plenty of that.
All right, so this is the first group.
It's major championship season for the best in the game. Time to dig down deep, meet the moment,
Beautiful tee shot.
execute the plan,
Perfectly read.
and rise above the rest. Watch the top players in the world swing for a major.
What a worthy winner.
The KPMG Women's PGA Championship, beginning June 25th, live on Golf Channel.
All right, second shot here at 17 for Jinyoungko coming out of the rough. We have similar conditions in the morning, be in the 40s, warm up in the 60s today, but a little different wind direction, so the players will have to make the adjustment.
Riotakeda, and this for Rio to get it to 5 under. Well, we saw a few long ones made. As we go back to 18 and Lottie.
Are begging for a hole-in-one. Hard to come by.
Here's Rosezhang at 16.
I love those kinds of tempo thoughts. It's just, she's almost an overworker. Somebody who just works and tries so hard that when the results don't come, it can be so frustrating. I could relate to a lot of what she said in that interview about.
And up the hill we go again at 16, ariajutanugarn.
Excellent line there. Anything just right of that shadow of the flag is a good spot.
And up ahead at the 16th, Rosezhang for birdie.
All right, 17th, Jinyoungko for birdie. Just to get to -3.
Laurencoughlin closed out the front 9 with a birdie at a par 3, trying to do the same on the back, and does. at the 16th, the second for ariajutanugarn.
Quite impressive that Rose was able to keep this ball below the hole on this green.
Front bunker and hit a beautiful spinner out of there to save par. Akieiwai for a 70. And the great lydiako. Here's Jinyoungko, another former #1 in the world.
I couldn't help but think about what she said about the frustration of Poana greens there, and think about her success on Poana, specifically at Lake Merced.
Down at the Kia Classic as well at Aviara. All right, let's go over to 16. Here's Yuliu. Okay, you. To the 9th.
Riotakeda, our co-leader here at the 9th, playing 200 yards today. Seen a few good shots in here this afternoon. Just trying to break out of that tie.
Jinyoungko, two-time major champ, spent more weeks at #1 than anyone in the 20-year history of the Rolex rankings. This for a share of the lead.
He's definitely struggled a bit this year.
All right, 17th, rosezhang now for birdie. See if she can get back to even par. Tracking.
It's just been a delightful day. Temps in the mid-60s all afternoon. Chilly this morning. Here's maosaigo for a closing birdie.
I feel like the winds died down a little bit. Temperatures warmed up. Became a much more pleasant day to play golf this afternoon.
Riotakeda, this for birdie to take the lead. Couple career wins on her resume, a 5th, 8th this season, the 12th of the Chevrons. Playing some solid golf, 28th CME. See if she can get this to take the lead on her own. Got to go. Nonetheless, a very solid afternoon of golf. She'll finish up with 66, 400. She'll stay in a 3-way tie at the top of the leaderboard. Okay.
Mentioned it that last week was a course that 2/3 of the field hadn't seen. Mountain Ridge Country Club. Donald Ross designed 6 under, led after round 1. 13 under won it, which is a really high score for these great players. Looks like 4 under par is going to lead it after round 1 here. And that's 2-putt par for Jinyoungko, and she is in with a 67. Good tests for these players as they get ready for what's going to be a supreme challenge at Riviera in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I love this golf course. I think it's a wonderful test of golf. I think it's one that, as the players have seen for the first time in competition today, you just got to learn on the fly. A lot of nuances. There's plenty of nuances at Riviera as well. So definitely a good lead up.
Yeah, we'll see Charlie Hull and some of those other leaders in our coverage tomorrow afternoon. We've got second round coverage coming your way at 3 o'clock Eastern Time right here on Golf Channel. The Kroger Queen City Championship presented by P&G. Both Barney Kroger and William Proctor, co-founders of akieiwai, for the first time hosting the world's best in women's golf. Thanks to everyone who made it possible on this glorious Thursday. For Morgan, Jim, Karen, and the team, I'm Grant Boone. Thanks for watching the LPGA Tour on Golf Channel. See you tomorrow from Queen City.